Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zelda Speedruns and welcome to a premiere on ZSR and a world premiere, I want to say. Maybe? Possibly? I don't care. Welcome to Zelda Speedruns and welcome to the Tears of the Kingdom first ever any percent showcase race on ZSR. It's been 2 weeks. We have been running eagerly. Everybody enjoys it. Everybody and their mom enjoys it. But hey, we've been also glitch hunting, we've been running, we've been testing, we've been doing strats and stuff. So without further ado, let's showcase what we have. Live on ZSR, a showcase race between Gymnast86 and Samurai Man. And these two currently are top 1 and top 2 of the any percent leaderboards. What else is there to say? Not much, I want to say. Because, hey, that's a pretty fantastic feed. So, um, so we're gonna get going soon. Just a bit of information to get going early. Both runners are gonna be on version 1.1. That's important for you to know since yesterday, version 1.1.2 released for Tears of the Kingdom, sorry, and it fixed several glitches that we found in the past 2 weeks. Actually, most glitches. So this will be the actually fastest run or version of the run we have right now, which means any percent using duping glitches, using something called zuggling. We're gonna talk about this a bit later. And right now, the community is deciding what to do next. There's a voting form up for the community with over 350 answers already that is gonna decide how the leaderboards are gonna be structured in the future. Given that older versions are not easily accessible on Switch, that's a really important thing to talk about, and we'll see how the community and the Tears of the Kingdom staff decides. For now, this is going to be a race on version 1.1, so means all glitches basically. And as you see, both runners start on the main screen of the Switch, which it means we are gonna start this game from a fresh game boot to prevent any preloading and to prevent any shenanigans with status updates. So that's really important. By the way, since I'm doing this on my own right now, I'm gonna have somebody join soon. Please give me an update on the audio levels, so we have an idea what's going on there. But I think it should be fine as soon as Jim loads into the game, which is right now. And then we're gonna get started. So yeah, game starts from the main file menu, and we're starting. I hope Jim is actually okay. Jim, you might have been a little late there. Yeah, well, Jim losing like 10 seconds. But hey, that's fine. It's not gonna matter that much. It's not that optimized yet. But yeah, we're starting with the intro. Tears of Kingdom, by the way, if you have not finished the game, this is gonna be spoiler hell. So maybe come back for the next community race, yeah? If not, that's on you. So we're starting with the intro, and as you can see, it's really fun because we start with 20 hearts. Is it 20? It's a lot of hearts for sure. I have not counted them. I think it's actually a lot more. It's like 32 or something. 32 hearts, I believe. Or 30. 30 hearts it is, right. And we're starting with the full stamina bar and with the Master Sword and Hero's Tunic and stuff. And we're starting below Hyrule Castle. This opening sequence is a locked down affair. The game is constantly checking if we're still in there, if we're out of bounds or not. It's not easy to circumvent. We have not found a way to circumvent this yet, but it is part of the run as it's gameplay, as you can tell, right? we are running, we are going down there, there's cutscenes, there's movement optimization. Of course, it's part of the run. Maybe in the future there's gonna be chances to skip this in the speedrun for one specific reason, and you will see this soon. There's a cutscene that is not skippable. And that cutscene is 4 minutes and 4 seconds long, which is kind of unfortunate, right? Because, well, it's a long cutscene to wait for. I actually added the version number to the layout so you all know what you're dealing with. So now we're getting into another small cutscene on Samu's side. And now we're going down this staircase and gonna head into the main room. And that's when, well, there's a long cutscene. That cutscene is not skippable. It's a fantastic cutscene, but it's not skippable. So we have to wait for 4 minutes. This gives us some time to talk about more of the run, though. So this run basically consists of 3 parts. First part is handling the Great Sky Island, which is the intro island, just like the Great Plateau in Breath of the Wild, having 4 shrines, having some intro mechanics, all the stuff. This is Ganondorf, by the way. And it will give us the equipment that we need to get going. Then part 2 is going down to Hyrule, getting all the equipment that we need to fight Ganondorf. That's part 2. And then part 3 is going down below Hyrule Castle into the depths and getting this done. We'll have this cutscene to talk about more things, so I'm gonna look at chat. Language, the game is said to seems to make it different at all. We're not sure yet. There has been no testing on timing of languages yet. It's probably gonna make a difference. I'm not even entirely sure if anybody looked into it yet, but probably not. As you can tell, all our 30 hearts are gone now, by the way. Master Sword is gone, Stamina's gone, 3 hearts. So that's what we're gonna have. And yeah, a language has not been tested yet. We had a bit more than 2 weeks, to be honest, to test stuff. Lots of stuff has been found, but all these timing details have not been figured out yet. So once we are done with this cutscene, we're gonna move to the Great Sky Island, and then the run starts, actual strats start, and we can talk about these. There's a lot of movement tech involved that I'm gonna explain. But also, there's many things that you might know from Breath of the Wild that have been fixed. This includes stuff like whistle sprinting, which was the fastest way to sprint. All the cool bullet time glitches that you know. Bullet time still exists in TOTK, but all the glitches around it, like bullet time bouncing, and also the wind bomb stuff has been fixed, which is unfortunate, but we found ways around it, at least in version 1.1, which we are running. The entire run is also gonna heavily depend on duping. There have been several methods found to dupe items in this game, and the one that we're gonna use most is the Material Sword dupe, MSD, which means basically whenever Link is in the air and has his hands tied up by something, like holding an item, holding the shield or gliding or something, you can perform duping by using the sword menu, or the sword function of the menu. Now Zelda's gone, so bye-bye Zelda. And we are gonna get pulled up to the Great Sky Islands and start with the actual run. So this is actually a long cutscene that's not skippable. For now, the community has decided not to skip it in the run. That might change in the future, but for now we want to see how the game develops. Maybe if it actually becomes skippable with a patch, or if you find stuff to make it shorter, to maybe even skip it. So maybe later. For now, the run actually only starts about 7 minutes and a few seconds in. That's important to know. Alright, so let's see what we got. We arrive up on the Great Sky Islands, and I welcome my co-commentator. Welcome, Tobias, to the show.
Hello, Trez. Hello, chat. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Oh man, I am hyped for this any percent showcase race. I've been looking forward to this. I'm
right.
loud? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I fixed that. All good. All right, so we're grabbing the Master Sword. Master Sword is in mint condition. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, wonderful. Just, like basically, it was smithed yesterday. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's perfect. It has 1 damage, which is by far the highest damage value. Like, in Tears of the King, it actually works like this. Like 99 is bad and 1 is great. Okay, I'm just kidding. Master Sword is broken. We're gonna lose it again in a few minutes, or like half an hour to be exact. These are the, how are they called again? Dragon. Yeah, great. I forgot how they're called. Dragon something.
I'm not sure what you're going for. You mean the round portal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. So we're starting with these to basically activate any kind of function, any kind of story triggering in the game. So now we're moving. As you can see, both are doing some specific movement. They are doing so-called CTTS, which stands for crouch, throw, tap, sprinting. Basically describing what it does. We're doing a sprint. We crouch. We instantly cancel it using the B button, and then we instantly press R to throw a weapon and cancel that again. And this basically allows us to run at high, not full, but high speed without losing stamina if done correctly. It's a bit finicky, and the frame window to do it is not big, but it's the fastest way of running for now.
That we've found so far. Yeah, this is, you know whistle sprinting, obviously, from Breath of the Wild. Nintendo did a great job at patching out any speedrun strats that were used in I think the any percent and the all dungeons categories in Breath of the Wild. So we got to find new ones.
In comparison to just crouch sprinting, which is not including the throw weapon thing, it's around 2.5 to 3% faster. So that's what you get. There's multiple ways of doing sprinting right now, but yeah, CTTS is currently the fastest. If done correctly, of course. All right.
Yeah, so bit more finicky movement, but you get, 2 to 3% that adds up over the course of the run.
Yeah, especially in longer categories. All right, Great Sky Island it is. Again, lots of CTTS for movement you're going to see, and now we're starting to get a few items to prepare us for the rest. So what we're going to do, and what we want to do, is we want to grab the Pura Pad, of course, because that's unskippable, at least so far. We get it right here. We want to get a stick, a few weapons, and of course our 4 runes that activate our skills for the Pura Pad. However, we're not going to get these in the order that the game intends. At least the first rune that you're supposed to get is Crystal Clear. It's supposed to be Ultra Hand, but we're not getting Ultra Hand until the 3rd shrine. And we're starting with a different one. It's going to be Ascent, because it's really useful for movement.
Yeah, speaking of, both Ascent itself is really useful for movement, as well as just the fact that you have, well, you're going to see it later, but you have a glider available near the Ascent Shrine, if I recall correctly. You have a glider available there, and that just allows you to get across Great Sky Island so much quicker than the intended route, which is a lot of hiking through mines.
The second advantage is that right next to the Ascent Shrine, there's a Zunai machine for the capsules, which allows us to get additional Zunai resources or machines for the rest of the run. All right, here we're getting frogs. We will need these for potions because we need a speed boost later. Obviously, speed boost sounds fast. Now we're getting to the part where movement tag can already get you ahead, or past even, which is why Jim is now slightly ahead. And we're moving fast. Here we're using the big rock to kill these machines, get our first weapon, the stick, and just not having to deal with the first one. Also getting this soldier construct cone and the zonite charge, which both are gonna be used for the capsule machine later, just to get the items or the capsules that we need there. All right.
So for those new to Tears of the Kingdom, totally new. I mean, you need zonite devices or zonite technology specifically to feed into that capture machine. You can't just use any items. So up we go to the Temple of Time. Bit of micro routing coming up here. In the beginning, we saw runners fight this soldier construct in front of the Temple of Time, and then wait for it to despawn, and then pick up those items that it drops again for the capsule machine later. Nowadays, they just run up to the Temple of Time, trigger the cutscene there, and then pick up those items along the way. Saves a few seconds, and that's the kind of optimization we're currently seeing a lot of in any percent. Yal in chat saying it's a gumball machine, not a gacha machine. Can it be both?
All right. So now we're done with the first part of the lore. We have our quest to get the 4 shrines, actually 3 right now. And we are moving to our first shrine, which is gonna be the shrine where we learn Ascend, which is called the Gutanbak Shrine, if I'm correct. So we're moving there. And it's gonna be a bit of a different route than the one that you took casually. Of course it's gonna be, because, I mean, we're gonna try to do this as fast as we can.
First of all, we're picking up these spicy peppers and cooking spicy simmered fruit. So we have cold resistance.
Indeed. So there's plenty of ways to get through the cold, of course. You can light fires. There's actually some clothes that you can pick up on the way up there. But we're just going to use this 3 pepper cold resistance food, because 7.5 minutes is plenty to go there. Or should be plenty at least. And of course, as you can tell, we are using movement tech wherever we can. Besides CTTS, we're using, of course, shield surfing, because it's fast, especially down slopes. And here, that's your first part where you're supposed to have Ultra Hand, but we're just not required to have it, not required to use it, so kind of fine.
Yeah, there's already a raft in the river ready for you to go, so no need to worry about anything here.
By the way, Gaussian Storm, yes, CTTS is faster than normal sprinting by a couple percent. And it also, like, okay, it's not faster than just holding the sprint button, but it's faster than normal, like, sprinting over time, because you're just not wasting stamina. So over time, you're saving seconds anyway. All right. Getting up here is really clutch. As you can tell on the climbs that we're doing, it's barely possible to get all the way up there on enough stamina. And it's going to go and continue like this in some parts of this, where you just barely can make it up to Ascend, and that heavily shortens the route to get to Ascend. Oh, Jim. Oh,
Jim
yeah.
drowning here. Ooh.
Oh,
So
both.
you
Maybe?
don't have a lot of time in frozen water or in ice cold water here, and Jim didn't quite make the jump over here.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to. Oh, that's what
Oh.
you can basically see how it was meant to go on
Yeah.
Samurai Man's side here. You're looking at a shield jump. over to the waterfall or to the ledge behind the waterfall to climb the next step up to the Ascent Shrine. Geez, both of them get to respawn near the raft here.
Yeah, that's a big time loss. You're
So
losing
for
like 2 minutes or something now, at least.
for RTA, this would be a reset. Obviously,
Yeah.
this is a race, so both of them are continuing. But yeah, if you're trying to do time attack runs, then obviously you're resetting at this point.
Yeah, but in this case, no Jim. Of course, you can tell. This is early. Both are doing a fantastic job already, and their PBs are really, really impressive. You're gonna see that later when we come to a really important part of the run that has developed in the past few weeks. Mostly the past week, I want to say. But the run is A, just like Breath of the Wild, 90% really hard, and B, still new. So these things can happen, right?
Yeah, we're in early stages. I mean, we're looking at a game that has been released for all of 2 weeks now. There we go. That's how that's supposed to go. Oh no,
Yeah.
Samurai, you got this. Come on.
And this is the climb. He's saving. This is the climb that I was talking about for Jim. That basically works to the frame. It's almost not possible, but we can make. Ooh, Jim.
Okay, got it.
All right, both got past the waterfall, and now we're up here for the Ascent Shrine.
See, Samu is taking a slightly more cautious route up that climb here, not doing that last jump that Jim did. Saves a few seconds, obviously, but you run the risk of sliding down that entire wall again.
Another difference to Breath of the Wild, by the way, we have no skew like it exists in Breath of the Wild to adjust or to manipulate your hitbox. And there's no clipping into shrines, at least not right now. Might change in the future. They're gonna bump the game audio a little bit on stream. But yeah, so right now we need to open these the normal way. And now we're getting our first rune, our first skill. It's gonna be Ascend. I'm pretty sure you all know what it does, but just to explain it, you can jump up through ceilings. Not all ceilings, but many ceilings. And even if they are super thick, you will come up on top, which is an extremely useful skill and allows for some cheesing where Nintendo didn't quite expect you to do it. So here you can see it in action on Jim's side, jumping up, swimming through the ceiling, and getting out on top. And we will use that a lot.
I think Jim is also doing a bit of camera management here because if you end up ascending through places where the camera would clip through, like that just happened with the bridge, you see loading screens, and those I think are slightly slower. If I still have that correct.
Correct.
So you want to make sure that the camera, like, you don't get loading screens when you don't have to.
All right. So that's it for the first shrine. We're getting our first light, but that's not really that important for the speedrun. We need 4, because that's what the game requires, to get a 4th heart, which is what you need to get past the gate in Temple of Time. So that's a hard requirement by the game that locks progress or locks getting down from Great Sky Island. But besides that, these light spheres are not really that important.
And if and when a skip for that gate is ever found, times are just going to plummet.
It's not just the gate, because we also need to find a way down from the death plane around Great Sky Island. But yeah, like similar to the void plane of the Great Plateau in Breath of the Wild. All right, Light of Blessing acquired, first shrine done. And now, second, we are going not to Ultra Hand, not to the time rewinding feature or skill, but instead we're gonna go to Fuse, which is our skill to fuse weapons to each other, to objects around you, to so many things. One of the really cool features in Tears of the Kingdom. And for that, we're gonna go up here. And there is a piece of clothing here that would help us basically not have any issues with the cold anymore, but we're skipping that because
who needs that? It's slow. We are out of the cold zone anyway within the next 30 seconds or so. Again, Gumball Machine to grab useful items. We'll see what Jim gets here. Drops in the Zonite charges and some Soldier Construct Horns that he picked up. He has 2 more Soldier Construct Horns in reserve, but I think he plans to use those for weapon fusing. Wing, portable pot. Another portable pot.
I think he only got 2 wings, right? So you want to get 3 wings and 2 skulls.
He has 3.
Oh, he has 3. Okay, good.
3 wings, 3 pots.
Fantastic.
And
so that's what you need for the run.
All right, we're seeing our first dupe trick. By the inputs that Jim just did, using the shield jump and sorting the item menu, he has duplicated those hot-footed frogs that he had in his hand. He now has 8 of them instead of the 2 that he actually picked up. Likewise with Samu. This glitch is unfortunately, well, I don't want to say on its way out, but it is exclusive to versions 1.0 to versions 1.1.1 of the game.
Precisely. So this is called mid-air sword duplication, what Tobias just explained. So basically, Link just must be in a state where his hands are tied up by holding the shield, by gliding, or whatever. And then if you basically use the sorting function while Link having items in hand and close the item menu at the same time, because the sorting function was really bugged in 1.1 and 1.0, the items get dropped to the floor, but the menu thought, okay, hey, I can't even hold them in my hand, so I'm just going to keep them in my inventory. Basically desyncing world and item menu and duplicating them in that way. So we're going to use that a lot more in this run. This, by the way, this transition using the glider from Ascent to Fuse is really sick and really quite delicate, because the movement is really specific on the glider to get here, but both of them did that in a great way.
So, bit of confusion about why they aren't running on the latest version in chat. So, yeah, to explain it again, we want to really showcase just the current state of the any percent run. And the patch the latest patch just got rid of a lot of glitches that were really essential to the any percent run. So I'm sure the community will find alternatives, other options in the next few days and weeks, and the times will start tumbling again. But it came just at a bit of an unfortunate timing for this showcase, so we decided let's go with the 1.1.1 version to see where we're standing.
Precisely. Right now the community is holding a vote to see what we're gonna do. There's gonna be multiple options, or there are multiple options that we're debating. For example, having a leaderboard for both the latest version and earlier ones, splitting them, maintaining both, especially since earlier game versions are not really easily accessible on Switch, so we're debating what to do there. As said, we wanted to showcase what the biggest or fastest version is right now, and both runners decided to play on 1.1 for now. We are playing on 1.1 instead of 1.0, as both Both versions have basically the same speed. There's one exclusive 1-0 glitch in Infinite Horse Stamina, which doesn't matter for any percent. And in that regard, 1.1 is just the better version. It's more stable, it's running faster, the frame rate is better, and it's more enjoyable. And since 1.0 was not a version that was available really on release, because it was a pre-release version, and 1.1 was even released before the game's release, 1.0 is currently still banned on the leaderboards. That's likely or maybe gonna change depending on the outcome of the vote, however. And yeah, and MIT, another way of duping that is available on 1.1, apparently is still available on 1.0, but works a little different there, and not as easily. There's a few other differences, but none that are really relevant. Oh, why? Samu getting knocked there. So Jim pulling a little ahead.
Right, Jim is grabbing or going through this tunnel / cave on the way to the Ultra Hand Shrine finally. So again, not using the intended order for how to get to these shrines that the developers had probably intended, but hey, it's an open world game and we're allowed. And Ascent is just so useful to get all the way to the top here and get to the Ultra Hand Shrine quickly.
Yep. All right, next, the Uku Shrine, whatever you want to, or however you want to pronounce it. We're getting our first bone array here. We're getting some arrows. And next up, we're gonna, if I remember correctly, we're gonna spawn the wing, and then go to our Ultra Hand Shrine, because it's faster to go there. Getting 10 arrows here. The Uwu Shrine. Yeah, might as well. And yeah, that's where Jim calling the glider and actually putting it in free air so he can instantly get going.
Yep.
Looks swag, is fast, makes it easier. And here once again, we are barely making it up there.
Yeah, I've also seen Jim experiment with ascending through that entire island, basically, and getting there from below, but that is very risky. So I can totally see why he wouldn't go for that in a showcase race.
Yeah. And, oh, Jim.
Whoop!
By accident,
one
going
extra
back down
ascent.
again. But yeah, there you could see why getting ascent first is such a strong thing. Just because it allowed us to skip the entire climb up here. And just there, Jim actually used his second glider and fused it to our shield. Sam already did that. You're gonna see soon why. But first, the Ultra Hand Shrine, the arguably best and most insane skill in Tears of the Kingdom.
It's Magnesis, but awesome.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, getting Ultra Hand here, and then there's just one more shrine to do, and that's the Nahoya Shrine that will give us recall. And then we are basically done with the Great Sky Island, which is cool. And that means we can go down to Hyrule. So soon-ish, we're gonna leave this place.
So who needs to actually use Ultra Hand in the intended way to glue together these stone slabs to make bridges? No, you can just fuse your shield, fuse a wing to your shield, immediately like double your shield jump distance, and in general your jump distance. But sometimes it's just a matter of pixels, and Samu will get this in the second attempt for sure. And boom, you are done with the shrine. Almost
Yeah.
quicker than it took me to actually explain or find the right word for stone slab in English.
I think it's so amazing that you can just grind using the glider mounted to your shield on this rail. It just looks amazing.
Yeah,
It feels amazing to do. It's kind of nuts.
going Tony Hawk on these rails. You can't just do it with a glider. You can also do it with a minecart attached to your shield, and I think even just with your shield, but it does take damage with that.
Yep.
I love that they included it in the game.
Yep. So here we are back at the Temple of Time, activating the Dragon Plate, and that triggers another cutscene, soonish that will explain. Okay, so you can get one more ability, and then basically it was already where you started. So we're going back here. Quick cutscene, noticing that we can't do shit, and then we go back to the place where we awakened by teleporting, because we can, and going back to the room of awakening. We don't know if English is the fastest language yet. It's just the one that people are running if they are from an English-speaking country. There has been no timing performed on languages yet, and frankly, the game is not yet at a state where that particularly matters.
Yeah, just not at the stage of optimization where that really is the thing that runners are working on, I think.
Yep.
Oh!
Oops.
Not quite nailing that jump. Again, this is made possible by the glider fused to the shield. This just massively increases the distance you can shield jump. And... Oh, no!
And this basically means Samu is now again tied.
Yeah, opportunity for Samu to catch up here. And
Jim having enough of it.
Yeah, done with this BS. Let's do it the vanilla way. At least for the first cogwheel. There we go. Now, in vanilla, you obviously learn here, oh no, you actually don't have enough heart containers to leave this island yet. And to get the 4th heart container, please go to one more shrine.
Alright. So now we learn that we need to teleport and that we can teleport. And that we do not have enough hearts to open this door. Basically, Nintendo reused the Master Sword mechanic from Breath of the Wild here in a really early way with only 4 hearts, and with that created a barrier to prevent you from leaving the Great Sky Island before doing all 4 shrines. Worked kind of well. This is, by the way, using Ascent, a way faster way to get up to the shrine. Before we tried multiple things. We tried just jumping over the gears there to make it easier to get there. But then we found out, okay, you can just use Ascent in the corner. So that's, yeah, the fastest way by far. So you do not even need recall to get here. So this is the first shrine where you're not getting a new ability, but you're just using recall, which you just got before the shrine. So a little difference. And it's a really basic shrine in the regard that you're just clicking recall and that's it. Except I kind of liked the clock thing. Funny idea. That's it. We're done with the Great Sky Island. Just some movement left. Yep. So this was these are around 36 to 38 minutes in this regard of Great Sky Island. the Great Sky Island single category or standalone category that the leaderboards already have on the extension leaderboards does a little different route because we just do not need to grab a few things. And it starts past the intro, so we're skipping the intro there just because it's focused on the Great Sky Islands. And it's not a game completion category, so it makes sense. So what you just saw there was a fall damage cancel. Jim jumped down. There was no water, but right before being on the ground, he canceled that jumping down animation and then held onto a wall and slid down and thus prevented any damage. So that's one way of fall damage cancel, but we're gonna see another. Some actually opted for the water. Yes, Ozlik. This is done on version 1.1, so duping is possible. Why did I turn off my game audio, by the way?
That's a good question.
I just noticed I turned off my game audio. Alright. We are heading back into the Temple of Time. And then we're gonna lose the Master Sword. Oh no! No more Master Sword.
Who needs that?
We're gonna get it back later, I promise. But yeah. Using recall now to get back up. We can open the door, and that's it for the Great Sky Island. Actually, there's a little bit of walking afterwards where you run outside and get into the cutscene where Zelda actually received the Master Sword. Spoiler, back in the past when Hyrule was founded. Which is a fantastic... I still love that plot twist. It's just so good. But yeah, we're getting our first heart container. But yeah, true. Alka is right. Jim is on version 1.10 and Someone 1.11. There's no difference for the speedrun in it. Just a bug being fixed that has no relevancy for our stuff. Yes, y'all, I said back in time.
In time in a Zelda game. Yeah.
Check.
I can tell the Wind Waker the Wind Waker and Skyward Sword communities are out in force today.
Excuse me, TP found back in time first. Yeah? Sorry.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Alright. Check the Anland. We're gonna explain the actual method of fall damage cancel as it happens really soon. And that's when I'm gonna explain it. The one that you saw earlier is basically not even a glitch. It's just you cancel Link's dive down animation and then hold onto a wall and slide down, and that's all you need to do. But yeah, now we lost the Master Sword, and that's it. We can finally go to, and the screen says it, to the Kingdom of Hyrule. But yeah, Jim's not jumping down, because why would he be so swag? Instead, he's using a glider. He wants to go slow, of course. And that's... When I saw that, I thought, that's crazy. We're starting to dupe on the thing. Which is just nuts. So once again...
Okay. I haven't seen that one before, but okay.
That's just nuts. But yeah, once again, we are doing a glitch here that's not possible on the latest version, but on version 1.1. It's called mid-air sword duplication. So pressing the sword function in the menu and canceling at the same time while being in the air with Link's hands tied up, like holding your shield in front of you. That causes a desync between item menu and the world, dropping the items to the floor, but they stay in your inventory, basically doubling them, which means it's a dupe. That's possible until version 1.1.1. And right now we're still deciding, disclaimer, what to do with the leaderboards together with the community in a big vote. 400 votes almost by now. As you can see, two different strats here. Samu using a glider with two fans to get moving. Meanwhile, Jim actually pushing himself ever so slightly forward using the smack or the slash forward animation. Two different strats, as said. And here, Jim is gonna perform. Oh no, he's gonna perform this type of fall damage cancel. There's a different one, which is a fall, which is a jump slash cancel basically. There's multiple ways to fall damage cancel in Tears of the Kingdom. The latest one being a fully separate one that basically allows you to cancel everywhere or anywhere. I'm not entirely sure if you actually see that in a run right now. But we can explain that later if you want. Anyways, duping time. We get a diamond. That diamond is super important. Oh, also Samu failed the fall damage cancel. Shit.
Right, yeah, the diamond is super important because it is, I mean, super high damage items for fusing with weapons.
So, yeah, just quickly saying, because Samu attempted it, I actually missed that in that second. Samu attempted the normal fall damage cancel, which allows you to cancel fall damage from any height. So what you want to do, you fall and wait until as close to the ground as you can while being able to dive. The dive animation is key. Then you perform an animation cancel by opening the rune ability menu, like the one with Ultra Hand and stuff, and while lunging down. And then you hold L and press Y to equip and swap shields at the same time using the equip swap menu. And then you exit the equip swap menu, and the swapping animation of shields basically while diving again will cancel the fall damage. You will see it on Samu's side. It's a bit of a long list of steps right after the other, but
It's a bit tedious. It's a bit tedious, but it is also pretty consistent, and it is a lot more consistent for sure than the former fall damage cancel that I think Samu already showed and you already talked about, using the wall grab. Because that was always a lot of, I'm not going to say RNG, but it needed a bit of finesse and luck that you don't have with this one.
And it could only be done in certain places, like you needed a wall, and now it's not. Oh, that lag was mean. But he managed to do it. Great job, Samu. He did it. So he basically started flying in the air without diving, did the trick where he's swapping shields and canceling the animation, and then you're basically losing all momentum and start falling down again from that height, basically, which means no damage because it's not a big fall. But yeah, grab fall damage cancels were entirely situational, and now they're not anymore. Anyways, we should go a little back to Jim, who dived down into the depths and is now under Hyrule Castle, grabbing a lot of weapons if he needs it, and now he's doing something entirely different. And that trick needs a big explanation. This trick is called a zuggle, or it's zuggling, to be exact. And zuggling, how to easily explain it? So it basically allows you to stack weapon models and hitboxes together. On version 1.0, you need to be close with the back to a wall. And once again, you're performing the same thing we did with the duping, where we create a desync between the item menu and the world by being dropped. The game, as in the item menu, thinks, I can't drop it, so I won't, but the world drops it anyways. Since we're close to the wall, the game thinks, okay, I can't take this out here. There's no place for me to drop this weapon. The world drops it anyways. But your equipped weapon stays in your hand, and that's the important factor. Which means, as a result, you're basically stacking weapons in your hand. You have multiple weapons in your hand, doubling, quadrupling, multiplying your damage, which is really insane. And if you do this too much, you can actually overload the game, where parts of Link's body disappear, and you're going into the T-pose. It's basically dropping information. As you just saw the insane damage that Jim just did.
That's kind of ridiculous.
It is. Again, Zuggling, basically damage duping if you want to. Fixed on version 1.1.2, sorry, available on 1.1. Just saying, because we quickly, because we didn't talk about it earlier. Samu is cooking here, creating potions for himself. Besides all the duping with the rubies and stuff to have damage for later, because we will need a lot of damage. But he's creating speed up potions. He's creating damage potions, and healing and all that stuff. As you can tell, oh, that was actually close. As you can tell, Jim is already on one heart. That's a decision he's taking on purpose, and there's going to be a reason for it. And just now, he actually skipped a big part again. By just putting this glider in a specific spot, we are on a surface where we can once again use Ascent to skip a bit of movement and a bit of pass. And that's the likes here would be really annoying if we weren't so OP right now, basically having so many elemental weapons. The rubies causing fire damage and big fire damage are really, really important right now.
Right, we are grabbing a rocket here. Well, basically this is where Mickey Mouse comes in here and says it's a surprise tool that'll help us later.
Fair enough. And by now the run is really finicky, because we are constantly on one heart, not trying to get any health, because you want to stay on one heart, but you need to get past all this gloom. Right here we're skipping the hands and Phantom Ganon, but just walking around the trigger, which is kind of funny. We should also talk about Samu had a really unfortunate time both getting down here and then in Hyrule Castle, so he's quite far behind right now. But it doesn't mean he's done for yet, because Ganondorf is gonna be hard, so anything can still happen. And he's dropping down into the depths now as well, while Jim is making his way to all the way to the bottom where Ganondorf is waiting. Getting 10 bomb flowers here, basically our replacement for bomb arrows in Tears of the Kingdom. That's a lot of information to pack into such a small amount of time, by the way, so please excuse me for talking so much. There's just so much to cover in a run that's only an hour and 10 minutes when it's the first showcase. Also, sorry to you, Tobias.
It's okay. We got this. And right. So Jim is now headed. You may recall these dungeons or these tunnels from the very beginning of the game into the imprisoning chamber.
Yep. Really cool callback, by the way. Especially with the stone plates on the wall. Because when you do the intro, there's specific stone plates. By the way, Jim just doing the normal fall damage cancel right there again. But not the ones with Zelda after she messed with the story. So basically, there's a new stone plate describing all the stuff that Zelda did in the past after getting moved there, which is a nice callback. One thing that is important, that Lionel bow that dropped earlier is really important because it's triple damage. So we will need that. Alright, and now we're down here and fighting Ganondorf's Demon King army. Shield bombing here to get in the air to have bullet time, and now we're using all the elemental damage we can use, which is really important because fighting all these bokoblins and all the enemies later would take forever and be hard on one heart, but since we have all that area damage, it's a lot easier. It's still hard because they are still not all dying early, but it basically makes this fight possible. Without it, and without duping now on 1.1.2, it's infinitely more hard to do this. But yeah, shield bomb is amazing. I agree. Not sure it's better than rocket shield, but it's amazing. You pinged the wrong roll twice.
Well, I'm an expert.
Sorry, the habit just had me confused. Alright, third phase, these Gyptos basically take no damage unless it's elemental, so it's good that we have elemental damage. Also, Samu struggling a bit here with the box, sadly. Oh, barely getting onto it, and now he's down here. Can get down here, it's the fastest way to get down here, of course. And now he needs just to stay alive using ice keys, eyeballs, because they freeze the enemy, which is really important. It allows you to basically not deal with them and just run past them. So grabbing the rocket here. And meanwhile, Jim is almost done with the army. Now comes the boss fights. RMB, by the way, this doesn't work, we tried. So, since we are not doing any dungeons, just like Breath of the Wild, there's gonna be a boss rush. So we started Colgera. And that's where one important part that we have not talked about is coming into play. We have skipped the paraglider. In the first few runs of this game, we have decided not to split the paraglider because it's really hard. But by now, we found strats to do all these bosses without the paraglider. Just like here, we're getting up in the air with the rocket high enough to actually hurt Colgera. And since the game is expecting you to be high up in the air, we will spawn high up in the air for second phase.
I mean, that's very helpful.
It is.
That basically is the entirety of how this thing works.
Yep. And it's just fascinating how this goes together. All the keys that were just on our way down here, especially the electric keys that we got just before the Volino, allow us to have so much damage for the bosses right now and for the army beforehand that it's doable even without duping, just a lot harder. So that's Colgera done. Next is Marbled Goma, which is a lot more normal of a fight, but we're just using our abilities to the best we can, especially since we can use Ascent to get up here, and then of course the Zuggled weapon damage means we can do each phase with 2 or 3 hits, which is insane. Great, fall damage cancel, by the way, there from Zamu. Almost there now to fight the army, couple minutes behind. But yeah, 2 hits is kinda insane, and that's the Zuggle damage to you.
Ridiculous.
It
Absolutely ridiculous.
By the way, I dig the card shield that Samu has right now so much. He's duping electric keys wings right now to have enough for the fight. 24 rubies you just saw on Samu's stream. So he had one, I believe, and then duped it quite a few times. All right. Gomadan! Makturok it is next. And Makturok is...
I mean, Makturok goes quick, even casually.
I took forever.
Okay.
I was not good with the bow back. Because it was the first dungeon I did, and I really sucked. Casually, that is. But yeah. Just shoot it with water and be done with it, basically.
Yep. Makturok
Bye-bye, Makturok.
Like to be clean. All right, that leaves one more dungeon boss of the four elemental dungeons, and that is Queen Gypto. Wait, one more?
By far the hardest in my opinion.
Yeah, she does not mess around.
Not in any percent, by the way, because we are juggling. But Queen Gypto hurts. But yeah. Queen Gypto, and then just one more, and that's the surprise boss in the game.
The one that it didn't really tell you about, yeah.
Yeah.
The one that isn't included in the regional phenomena quest. We'll see now. The Seized Construct.
Yeah. Big plot twist. There's 5 sages, not 4. And Seized Construct is the boss. The least spectacular, to be honest. But the entire story around it was kind of fun. But yeah, the fight is basically not that spectacular. It's a ring fight, and you just push the construct into the electrified wall.
Yeah, kind of formulaic, not as freeform as I would say the other boss fights are. With all the others, with Makturok, with Kogera, with Queen Gypto specifically, you have a lot of ways to beat these bosses. With Seized Construct, you really only have one.
Oh, Samu barely. Was kind of late on that shot, but made it anyways. By the way, we didn't talk about it earlier. That army fight allows you to get stocked up on more weapons. We're just grabbing weapons everywhere during this fight whenever we can. Also more parts that we will need for more stuff later. Just allowing us to be prepared for the boss rush and for Ganondorf. Alright, and now it's Phantom Ganon, the 6th boss that is fighting you in Hyrule Castle. We're skipping that as well. Of course, not going to Hyrule Castle to fight. And thanks to Zogling, it's a quick feed, really. That's where these bomb flowers come in handy. But yeah. Samu, the boss rush behind, basically.
Good gravy, and that is Phantom Ganon done.
Yep. And that's it. We're going to Ganondorf. Grabbing a few things on the way. Actually, we're not anymore.
Making
there
sure.
you can see the effect of the Zogling, though. Yeah.
What? Oh. Yeah, that speaking of stacked weapons, that was a whole lot of spears that Jim just dropped there. I think there was like 8 or 12 spears all stacked on top of one another and collectively causing a ridiculous amount of damage per hit.
Yeah, just casually dropping 12 spears or something.
Why do we drop them before Ganondorf? Nobody needs them anymore.
But yeah, we dropped them because now we used all the white-maned Lionel Saber horns that we had to fuse them to our remaining weapons because we need that damage. And now, here we are. It's kind of fun how Link just grabs his hands or puts his fist up when you do not have the Master Sword. Jim using his attack potion right now, and again you can see the damage. That was almost phase 1, one more hit. And yes, Ganondorf can Flurry Rush, which is the most fun thing ever. No, actually not. Most fun thing is Ganondorf's health bar right now. And poor Simon dying again. That hurts a lot.
you can't save in the final boss rush or beyond that. So, yeah.
That's
Back to
super
square one.
unfortunate. That's super unfortunate because he needs to take damage again and he needs to do the entire army again, which is, yeah, that's rough. Oh!
Oh, and Jim taking a death as well, though. We are dead even again.
Okay, that one hurt. Samu doing the full damage cancel right there.
Oh, Jim starts at Ganon. Whoop.
Yeah, he starts
you're
at
right.
Ganon. They're not that even because we're past the boss rush. But yeah. That's the lucky point. If you die to Ganondorf, you're just doing Ganondorf. You're not doing the entire
Well, at least
boss
there's
rush of the
something.
army again.
Yeah, my mistake. Might have been distracted for a moment there, but yeah, Jim is obviously done with the boss rush. Has made it to Gloom's origin. And gets to fight the Demon King again.
Yep, and it's really unfortunate because looking at the splits, Jim was actually on PB pace, which would have been a record potentially.
PB on restream? Oh no.
But hey, it doesn't matter. It's just what matters is that we have a fantastic race here. Third phase, we'll probably gonna see now if Jim doesn't die again. Flurry rushing here. And that's a second phase done. While Samu made it to the Gipto phase of the army.
Yeah, just to be clear, the two runners on Restream right now are numbers 1 and 2 in the any percent world record roster right now. So, yeah, amazing race. And there is Ganondorf again, grabbing that sword. Hopefully not killing Jim this time, because Samu is catching up.
Yeah, basically, if Jim dies now, it's gonna be almost back to square one. So, but he almost has it now, using or throwing his weapon. Flurry rushing here, since Ganondorf is mid-animation. Oh no, he actually can dodge that.
Yep, but he won't dodge the second flurry rush, and that should be it for Demon King Ganondorf. Skipping the cutscene, obviously, leading into about your stream is not broken. This is about a 15-second loading screen that Jim has to endure right now.
Yeah, mostly due to skipping of cutscenes. It just takes forever. But yeah, now something specific or special happens, and Nintendo was clever about this. So they want you to finish the game using the Master Sword. So what do? The story puts you right there, right in front of where the story has the Master Sword. You don't know why it is there. You don't know who it is you're on. But hey, it's the Master Sword. And it's on the back of, spoiler, Princess Zelda, which is the dragon. Spoiler end. Also, can we just call this the Light Sword again? Because it's so flashy. But yeah.
You certainly can. Link's dragon girlfriend. Okay.
Nice. But yeah, we have the Master Sword now. And now, of course, the run is, or the fight, the final Demon Dragon fight, is a little different because we do not have the glider. But it basically just means being creative with your diving and flying. Because Zelda will catch you no matter how deep you fall or how far you fall. Samu, in the meantime, fighting Marbled Gomer. Almost being done with it. And Jim now, with the Master Sword in hand, up against the Demon Dragon.
Cornified Evil, the Demon Dragon, the final boss of the game, and to be honest, it is a less auto-scrolly fight than the final boss stage of Breath of the Wild. but I would still say they're going for cinematics here.
Yeah, but
And I can't really blame them.
But a lot better than they did it in Breath of the Wild. There's actually some skill involved. It's a lot cooler of a feature than just riding Epona. I like that a lot. But yeah, Demon Dragon gets a bit of damage. Jim aiming with the Lionel bow and rubies. Hitting the node he needs to hit on the other side of the dragon, skipping one phase basically, and that's really clever, because he basically just took out 2 of these nodes at the same time, by only damaging the node he was on half and then shooting his arrows. So that skips 1 phase basically of the fight. Which is another cool part. Unlike Breath of the Wild's final boss, there's basically skips involved.
Yep. And I mean, this saves a good half minute to a minute, depending on how lucky you get with Zelda Dragon's positioning here, because she has to catch you and has to fly back up, and you have to get in the right position to jump off and jump back onto Demon Dragon's back. So yeah, it saves us not insignificant amount of time, and we are almost done here. I think it's one more note on the back of Demon Dragon, and
yes.
Then hitting him in the face. Oh.
There we go. Jim getting in the right position, far up in the air, and then waiting for a specific moment to get off.
Yeah, I think he missed there. That one time.
Yeah, it's a bit of RNG. Sometimes Zelda just moves in a way.
Yep, and in this case, he jumps past Demon Dragon again, so going for another round on the Zelda elevator.
Yep. Meanwhile, Samu fighting Phantom Ganon, almost in the Ganon fight, had a bit of a rough run this time, but as said, this run is really new, it's hard. Strats are developed every day. And we'll see how stuff changes with 1.1.2. Oh no, Jim!
Oh, come on!
Yeah. Almost making
this
it.
Demon Dragon may just best the current world record holder. We'll see.
Let's try this again. Meanwhile, Samu taking the climb up to the Ganondorf fight. Running out of stamina, actually.
You can use this opportunity to get rid of that weapon stack that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, you actually need to turn around because the slope was too steep to actually take out the weapon. And there we go.
Making the jump this time, back down onto Princess Zelda's head here for one last go. Back up. Final target is on the head of Demon Dragon.
Yep. Meanwhile, Sam with his first flurry rush off the Ganondorf fight. Jim diving down towards the Demon Dragon, and just so you know, no, the run does not end on the final hit, because there's gameplay afterwards, and it's really important gameplay, because we need to actually save Zelda. So we're gonna do that. And here we go, Jim. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and boom, boom, baby, Demon Dragon is history.
World has been saved.
Well, not yet. We have not saved Zelda yet.
The world, well, Zelda isn't the world. Also,
Link,
there's one more hit.
For Link she is, also, yeah, right. I'm true. I forgot. This is also not the final hit of the game. The final input. I was gonna say. Meanwhile, Samuel getting wrecked by that area attack from Ganondorf. Unfortunate.
Rip. There we go. One more thing to do. Catch Princess Zelda as she falls. And this is entirely cinematic, to be clear.
Sorry, I just noticed that Jim's stream froze. Quickly gonna do a quick refresh. Sorry about that. Not sure what happened there.
Oh, it didn't freeze on our commentary page, so we didn't notice. Apologies.
Fixed. Anyways, here we go. Jim diving down to save the Queen of Hyrule, which is the princess, but kinda also the queen and the only...
Hyrule is a representative democracy now. She just kept the title of princess as an honorary title. There we go. That's time.
GG. It's frozen again. I'm not entirely sure what's going on the restream. Sorry about that. But yeah, really sorry. I'm not sure why it's starting to buffer now. But yes, that was kind of anticlimactic. I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, on grabbing Zelda's hand, the run ends with the time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 22 seconds.
And to be clear, this was world record pace not a week ago, I think.
Like 5 days ago, yeah.
Yeah. No, 2 days ago. 2 days ago, the world record was submitted. I don't know. It was not a week ago that this was still a world record time. Now it's at 1 hour 8 minutes, and I can only anticipate that as soon as the glitch hunters have done their dark work again and found the next batch of things that Nintendo did not yet fix, those times are going to start rapidly descending towards 1 hour again.
This is actually one of the weirdest pieces of lore I've ever seen. Like, Nintendo actively decided to undress Link for this cutscene. Why? Why? just why?
They didn't undress him. They just went with the game model of Link's clothing instead of, just shoving clothes on him for the cutscene.
Yeah, but like, come on. Yeah. They
needed to show off his arm,
I guess. But yeah, imagine him having like the Bokoblin hat on during this cutscene.
I understand.
Anyways, Samu finishing up Ganondorf and now fighting the dragon himself.
When I felt something like a warm, loving embrace.
On pace to do maybe should a sub 120 as well. And yeah, this is now that we're waiting for Samu to do the same thing, the run for Tears of the Kingdom any % on version 1.1.1 or 1.1 or 1.0. Sadly, that's no longer the latest version of the game. Version 1.1.2, as I mentioned before, did fix most glitches. Not all, but all relevant ones. It fixed auto build cancel slide, which was really important in every other category. The zuggling, food ability buff swapping, safe load duping, then the entire item duping stuff. It also fixed the part of zuggling that allowed us to get the Master Sword extremely early and without it breaking. The community is currently deciding what they want to do. We're holding a vote to decide what to do with the leaderboards. There's maybe gonna be the option of having split leaderboards, with latest being the default or fastest being the default, or not splitting it all. That's all. Those are all the options, and there will be a decision in the next few days. down patching on Switch is not easily accessible, especially or not on digital. You need a soft-modded Switch for that, which is not widely accessible unless you have a Switch that is only a couple of months old or can solder a mod chip on, so we'll have to see what we're gonna do. Some are doing the same strat we saw on Jim's side, where he's using the Lionel Bow plus his remaining rubies to hit the node on the other side of the demon's bag, or dragon's bag. And now hitting... Oh, he needs one more. Oh, did he get it? I think he might have missed one slash.
Sure, we'll see.
What more is there to say while we wait for someone to do it?
Well, we could let's see if we can get Jim in here to chat about the run already, or do we want to do that with both of them at the same time?
I kind of want to bring them in together, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, there's a lot more to say. We're currently still working on definitions for all shrines and for 100%, so these runs are currently not on the leaderboard. These categories will be on the leaderboard. We're deciding on break rules to make running those, especially 100%, which is going to be like 60 hours at the start, maybe more, not an health issue, not an health risk. So that's going to be decided. Same with all shrines, which is going to be long. There's chances for a ton of extension categories. I definitely want to run the all Edison signs because I really
all
like
signposts. There we go. Yeah, that's my
amazing.
category, dude.
Yep. But there's also a lot that we still need help with. Now that 112 is out, we need help to glitch hunt 112 to maybe find replacements for all the glitches that we lost. We definitely need people helping out with verification and documentation on ZeldaSpeedRuns.com. Verification is gonna be challenging in the next few weeks because the game is really popular right now. So if you're interested, please join the Discord for Tears of the Kingdom. And meanwhile, Samu up, down, diving into the final hit of the game, or the final 2 hits of the game, I guess. Final 5 hits of the game, I guess. And there we go. Destroying the stone. The spiritual stone.
Secret stone.
Secret stone, yeah. True. It's kind of nuts how I have not played casually for a week and now forgot all the names. Because you just do not need them anymore.
And boom, that's the Demon King defeated. Now there's just one thing left to do. Save the princess. And then even with a few really unfortunate deaths and a few unfortunate setbacks, we need to keep this in mind. This is a run that has existed, or this is a game that has existed for all of, checks the date, 16 days, and we are already looking at a speedrun, any percent speedrun, that even with those setbacks is done in just about an hour and 20 minutes. I mean, what more could you want? This is going places. You just need to remember how Breath of the Wild, how the Breath of the Wild run was in the beginning, and how quickly and how consistently that improved. And as Trez already said, obviously the community needs your help if you want to get involved, if you want to glitch hunt, if you want to craft theories about where one might look for more glitches, and so on and so forth. Get on that Discord. And GG's to both runners, obviously.
GG's indeed. We're waiting for the two of them to join us for an interview. But yeah, this was the Any Percent showcase for now. Again, run will change a ton in the next few weeks. There's going to be a lot of decisions to be made. And we will make sure with the staff team of Tears of the Kingdom to come to good and right conclusions for the community together with the community. And for now, I just want to give a warm shout out to everybody that joined us for the race. 500 people around in the middle of this. Big shout out.
Grief, really?
Yeah. Big shout outs to Gymnast86 joining us right now. GG Jim. Good race.
Hello, and GG's. That was there were a lot of that's never happened before mistakes for me on that run, which is why it was very weird.
I mean, you say that, and then you still were on PB pace for a lot of this run.
Not quite, but it was pretty close, yeah.
I guess you could have been ahead after Ganondorf if you didn't die. But only just if I saw it correctly.
Yeah, I think I would have needed to have really good Ganondorf and really good Demon Dragon to potentially PB out of that. Because but between the end of Great Sky Island and beating the bosses was really good with current strategies.
Wait, I need to get Samu back into ZSR Discord because apparently he left it. Jesus, Samu, how dare you?
Oh no!
How dare he?
Dare you? But yeah, obviously the end boss of the game is that ice water jump on the Great Sky Island.
Yeah. I mean, I've fallen in the water there before, but I can usually get out without dying. Or every other time I've gotten out without dying.
So apparently
GG, Samu.
GG. So apparently we both died at the same spot.
Yeah, you both died in the ice water.
Oh, we both died in the ice water. Okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't actually watching. I just assumed Samu was just ahead by 2 minutes then.
No, my chat was saying we both died at the same spot.
Yep.
Then
and in the same way.
Funny then.
In the exactly same way. But yeah, that was really an interesting showcase. I mean, it was actually pretty neck and neck until after the Great Sky Island, and then Samu sadly missed the fall damage cancel.
Oh, yeah.
Is rough.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I just didn't hit the attack button. I have a certain rhythm for that. Then I just missed it. And at that point, there was nothing I can do about it.
Yep. But this was a really fun showcase. I guess maybe, potentially, we don't even know yet, a final hurrah to version 1.1. Maybe not. As said, we're gonna find out in the next few days after I've gone through these 367 vote responses.
Oh boy.
That's a lot.
Together with the staff team, of course, not just me. But yeah, guys, what do you think? How's the run gonna shape up in the next few days? Even if we stay on 1-1, do you think there's something else that we just don't dare to do yet? Or do we just wait for more development now?
I mean, as far as version 1.1 goes, I think there could be some potential with getting fairies and then multiple rockets. And then doing a Zuggle out of bounds clip to just kind of fall into where the army is.
Oh wow, that's doable.
Yeah, you can Zuggle clip off of the Lionel. So you would beat the Lionel and then Zuggle the weapons back to a file before the Lionel was beaten, and then I believe do Zuggle overloading to clip with the Lionel to just skip the whole descent.
That's what you have to do. You oversuckle, and you can't the way you know is you use a ultra hand and everything is heavy with the ultra hand. Then you can do a no clip. Though there's a couple things you would need to have a two jellies to beat the Octorok and a couple other things. So then that will make it in the route and maybe save a couple minutes. But that's a big maybe. You wouldn't have bombs either for bomb jumps.
Yeah, it's actually fair. I mean, Zuggling, now, it's kind of weird, because now that it's basically patched, we don't even know if it's going to be relevant in the future, but Zuggling has so much potential.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Yeah, I did some no clip for just fun, and it's just so funny how Link is just running without legs. That's
Yeah.
what overcycling does.
Yeah, we just
I
left
mean,
our
the-
legs behind. Oops.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire part of being able to juggle the Master Sword and stuff, not so much for any percent, of course, but it's just, there's so
Yeah,
much potential.
infinite durability, like 300 damage weapon.
Yeah.
Then it does nothing against Ganondorf.
Yeah, and then it does nothing against Ganondorf, but that's not really much of a concern for other categories.
Yeah.
Just one-shotting everything in 100%. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, as far as 1.1.2 goes, I don't think the run, aside from like obviously not zuggling and duping, would look that much different. It would mostly just be like
Just harder fights.
Yeah, it would be
less,
harder fights. You would use you would probably just headshot a lot of the enemies in the army.
Maybe going for some old strats that you used to do Gymnast for your first run with the
Yeah.
bombs.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
use bombs to blast multiple enemies off the edge at once.
yeah. It's
So-
gonna be fun times. Like 1.1.2 right now feels like, in comparison, like almost a glitchless run.
Yeah, aside from well, I mean, there is the new duping method that works on
I
1.1.2.
actually haven't even seen that yet because I was entirely dealing with the fallout of the voting form and discussing
The new
things.
duping method is like you use your weapon into the shield, then something like that, and you can magically dupe another weapon, but no material duping yet on 1.1.2 patch.
Okay, so I guess I mean, we kind of expect Zelda. Did I really just say Zelda? Nintendo to. Oh god, we kind of expect Nintendo to go after these glitches as well, but we'll see about that.
Yeah, I would
Um,
expect that too. So
Yeah.
At some point, they'll stop caring when they'll focus on a new game.
Yeah, or the DLC. But
I
yeah,
don't know. The 3DS the 3DS said hello.
that was just out of sheer spite. Like, hey, screw you all. We're gonna release this patch. I'm pretty sure they already got
And
it.
it's already been circumvented, I'm pretty sure. So,
Yeah.
but
like-
Nintendo's gonna try.
Yep. Nintendo's gonna Nintendo because they hate their customers. But hey,
I mean,
they
there's
make
always a
fantastic
chance the newer patch is gonna be more broken than the current older patches.
That's also true. Yeah, they could
Yeah.
make new things happen.
The software developer, I can confirm, there is no such thing as producing bug-free code, and if you patch one thing, you end up adding issues in another place quite often. So that is absolutely possible.
Actually, I don't know if you heard about this, but I had this great idea where you could use ChatGPT to see if the code is bug-free or not.
ChatGPT, the future.
Let's talk about
I-
talk about that off stream because
okay, Jim just killed the entire mood for us
Yeah.
working as software engineers. Thank you all so much for watching. No, just kidding. But yeah,
Thank you for having us.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the race.
Jim, Samu, thank you so much for racing. We're gonna have more races in the future when stuff has been ironed out. As for the team that's running the leaderboards for Tears of the Kingdom, please give them time. This is a really complicated and really complex situation that we do not want to rush because we want to do right for the community, together with the community, so please give them a bit of time. If runs are not verified right now, please understand that we're kind of trying to get this on track again. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this a lot. Next time, we're gonna be hopefully back with a bigger race. Maybe even some other commentators and some more stuff to showcase. Maybe we can showcase all dungeons, maybe all shrines or all main quests, depending on what's coming up. Thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy Tears of the Kingdom while you're playing it. I'm pretty sure 90% of the community is playing it. Enjoy the amazing experience that, in my opinion, it is. Thank you all so much for watching. That's all we have for now. Tobias, thank you so much for joining me. Have a good
And
night,
thank you.
everybody.
And thank you again, Jim and Samurai, for the amazing race. Good night, everyone!